future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to all of our friends from around the world and across this beautiful country of ours. You are listening to another edition of Focus with Ron Frierson. I'm your host, Mr. Ron Frierson, and to my left, I have my brother, Mr. Woody Wilson, here with me.
What's up, Ron? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm happy the Carmichaels are back.
Yeah, the Carmichaels.
Yeah, remember that pilot we talked about a year ago?
Oh, you told me about that? I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's about a middle-class black family. Great
Okay.
show.
Well, listen, guys, thank you again for tuning in. We live in some different times. We live in some very different times, and my customary rant is going to begin like this. Fish rot at the head first. We've seen a major degradation in civility within our politics, within our country. We see a lot of people with racist rants on social media, more so than before, and feeling comfortable with it. We see people in positions of prominence, in positions of major responsibility, acting as if this is some sort of banana republic and some uncivilized society where we have forgotten about courtesy, we've forgotten about manners, we've forgotten about just basic human decency. And it's starting to permeate throughout our society in many respects. And I think a lot of it begins with who we look up to. There's no figure in the United States that's more revered for that period of time, for whatever reason, than the President of the United States. We put them on a pedestal, so to speak, to represent us and our country on the world stage. And I think we have chosen in Mr. Donald J. Trump a person who is beneath the gravitas of that office. We saw him travel on his first overseas trip as president. And I would say that in Saudi Arabia, he did pretty well, although his affection was misdirected. We cannot forget that maybe 17 of the 19 hijackers in 9/11 were Saudis. The Saudi Arabian monarchy has partnered with the Wahhabis, which is why they stay in power. And there's a lot of radical Islamic teaching that goes on, a lot of radicalization that starts in Saudi or funded by Saudis. Now, their monarchy may be doing something about it, but there are elements within the structure of that society that breeds Islamic race, not racism, but terrorism. Mm-hmm. So the way he was just hand-holding with the Saudis and using them, I'm not very comfortable with that. Then from there, he went to Israel, who I have a personal love for Israel, and many Americans do, but I don't agree with Bibi Netanyahu. And I don't think that I think Bibi Netanyahu is similar to what Dick Cheney was for the United States. I think that's what he is for Israel. And we are humans, and we think, on different levels, which means this: you can be anti-Bibi Netanyahu, and that does not make you anti-Israel. Mm-hmm. Okay, so understand that. For some reason, a lot of the people I know here, they think that if you don't like Bibi, then you don't like Israel. No, that's not the case. The same way people don't like Trump, that doesn't mean they're anti-America. That just means they're anti-Trump. Let's think evolved, people. Now, along with that, the next trip along the way, he had to go play nice with our allies at the NATO conference. This was embarrassing. This was his first time amongst other world leaders, and we had our nations, the world's greatest superpower. We were being represented by someone who was essentially a child in a man's body and approved that way. I have a video that I'm going to have played, and this is when Trump, so he could be center of attention. He's there with other world leaders, other presidents and prime ministers of countries. He wants to be front and center, and look at how he does it. Do you have that video, Jarvis? Play that for me, please. Did they show the push yet? Yeah.
That was dictator gangster.
Now, if that's not two third graders, well, one third grader on a playground trying to muscle, that is so.
He said, "Get out of the way."
That's so unbecoming. What do you think about that one?
Move, get out the way. You know, Trump's got to be front and center. I thought that was just rude, obnoxious, and I think it just shows you where his head is at.
Where is his head? His head is up his butt. Is where his head is. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Now, what he also did at this same NATO gathering, he pretty much tried to give a tongue lashing to the other leaders about how much money they need to contribute to NATO.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and telling them that you guys need to pick up your contributions.
Right.
What 2% of GDP or something like that should be paid into NATO because it's not fair to the American taxpayers and things of that sort.
Right.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, there is. And I understand he told the Germans he didn't like them either.
Yeah, and Germany is probably the strongest economy in Europe, and keeping Europe afloat, taking in the vast majority of the Syrian refugees. This is Germany, and at the same point, one of our major allies in that part of the world.
Yes, sir.
So him doing this was very, and doing it in public. Now, maybe it was right for him to say, hey, we really need for you guys to step up your contributions and pay what you owe.
It's okay to have that conversation.
Yeah, but you don't do that in the open session with all the mics. This is when all the world leaders get around the table and there are no press around and they all talk amongst themselves.
Right.
That's when you approach them about that.
It's like me on the radio asking for that $5 you owe me. I'm just
do I owe you $5?
Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Okay. Well, I didn't mean to tell you about it.
But yeah, it's you don't do that. It's just the decency and decorum that comes along with being, a high-ranking official like that. He just lacks it.
Yeah.
He lacks it, and it's just not in him. And you can see on the faces of Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, and some of the other world leaders, even the new French prime minister, French president, I believe, who is 40 years old, new to it. He's seen more presidential than Donald Trump, who's 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they look at him, understand that the prime minister from the United Kingdom also had to have a talk with Donald Trump about the leaking and how they were going, I guess some information on the terrorist attack in Manchester was leaked out to the public. And it was the Americans that leaked it. Wow. So now we can't even keep secrets. And so now Great Britain is upset with us because information they gave us and trying to thwart this terrorist and act, any upcoming terrorist acts and investigate what just happened was thwarted could have been thwarted because the United States is leaking information.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
No, that's we're broken. We need to fix that. The dam has a leak. This is just going to get worse if we don't patch this up quickly.
Yeah, I keep trying, and it's becoming more and more difficult to try to find a silver lining. For those people, and I have some friends who I love who think that he's great for business. We got to remember part of, especially
stock market loves him.
Yeah, the market loves him, but the market is speculative. The market is amoral and irrational. That means it's not good or bad. It's amoral. Right. It has no morality, and it's speculative. It's people's emotions. So what they've done so far, the market is very much in gung ho because they believe that he's going to be able to pass an infrastructure bill. They think this stuff is coming.
Right, and they have an insider too. He's got an insider. They have an insider in his cabinet.
And who? Steve Mnuchin?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's still the president.
Correct.
Mnuchin can't do anything on his own.
Yeah, he could just leak stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll say he can leak stuff, but
Exactly.
even with that, the stuff that needs to go through are things that he needs to get passed.
Correct.
So he can tell them policy-wise, and you're right, what he can tell them policy-wise is that we're going to have tax reform that's going to help this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this in regards to, the health care bill, that we're going to pass this so you won't have to worry about this, and this is going to affect this.
Right.
They can say all these things, even the infrastructure bill, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
But even with the infrastructure bill and all that type of stuff, it's like these are all speculative things that people say this stuff is coming. But this is the key. If Trump is constantly having to use his energy and trying to ward off investigators because he's done something stupid or he's stepping on his own toes, tweeting something,
all of that,
then he'll never be able to get to these things. And so if these things don't happen within the first year, second year, when the market starts to say, okay, this stuff we thought was going to happen, it's not really happening.
Right.
Maybe we should pull back, because on top of this, he's putting us in a situation where we don't have many more allies that really like us because he's embarrassing us on the world stage.
He pretty much is, yeah.
We have our enemies who feel emboldened because they're allies. And that's why I don't think he's good for Israel, Woody.
No?
No, because
why is that?
Israel needs us to be strong. And we have less than 1% of our population that serves in the military. Yet he's trying to get us entangled or talking with bluster and an aggressive, muscular stance to all these people and to all these different countries, all these different regimes, that if someone causes bluff, then that's going to put us in a more, on a war footing. That could be dangerous.
Position, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's that dumb. I don't think he's going to.
I
mean, he may try to distract from everything that's going on because these investigations are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
And he might, like you said, maybe he'll start messing with Korea just to offset the topic of conversation, change the narrative a little bit. That could happen.
Hey, but if he does that, and then
we're all in trouble.
We're all in trouble, but Israel needs us to be strong to help protect them.
Absolutely. I don't think that. Was there any question about us not being strong? In terms of Trump's.
Well.
Yeah. So people, you mean like strong in what?
No, I mean strong in a way that what I mean when I say strong, we need to be in a position of strength. Trump, in a way, is making us weaker, and this is how.
Mm-hmm.
We already have the military might.
Right.
But who fights with the traditional military these days? If it was all
Not
about
us.
military might, then we could have gone into Afghanistan and that war would have been over a long time ago.
That's
because we have an army that by far exceeds what their army's capabilities are. If it's all just about military might, we could have won Iraq and have things done over there a long time ago. You need more than just military might.
Yeah, the battlefield's different.
Exactly. It's a lot different. So it doesn't matter how many tanks you have. We will wipe anyone off the planet when it comes to a game of chess in regards to military might, my tank versus your tank. We'll beat anyone. But it takes more than that to have peace. You also need to be able to negotiate. You also have to be able to prevent something from happening, and that happens through intelligence, which we are lacking because we're lacking
at the leadership levels.
Exactly, we're lacking intelligence in the Oval Office, literally, and also our intelligence capabilities are being undermined by him. The way he's going after the FBI and saying how all these intelligence agencies were wrong about Russia, which downgrades the intelligence agencies. He's having all of these leaks within the administration so that our allies like the UK are upset that something they tell us in secret is going to be leaked out. Same way that he did when he had the Russian prime minister and the Russian ambassador. No, the two Russian ambassadors, their ambassador to the UN and their ambassador to the United States. He had them both in the Oval Office with Russian camera crews, no American camera crews there. And he's divulging secrets that they found out. One of the secrets that he divulged was something that was given to him through Israeli intelligence. He's dumb.
Well, he's probably telling everyone, he can't keep his mouth shut. Every meeting he's probably divulging stuff he shouldn't. So he's probably the leak and doesn't even realize it,
Trump?
Trump.
So he's the leak and can't even realize that it came from him.
He just
I
can't
don't
help
know.
himself.
I don't know. Listen, we need to go take our first commercial break. On the other end of the break, we're going to discuss this a little bit more. I want to get off into some of these things like the budget and what he's doing in regards to the cuts that are going to affect every middle-class family across this country. It's going to affect everybody, but some of us it's going to affect in not so good way. And so we're going to do that. And also we're going to prepare to have Cyrus Harper come on here and join
Cyrus
us. Bless us with his presence. Okay? So let's take this commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yates. I'm a hair transplant surgeon. When people come to see me, they have a problem. They've lost a lot of hair and they want their hair back. We have our own line of hair products, and I think it's a real winner. The way we start is with Mega Biotin. Number 2, edge control. It prevents breakage and holds the edges down. Apple cider vinegar shampoo. It adds body, it adds shine, and it also reduces inflammation. Depending on if your hair is dry, you want to use hydrating. If your hair is thin, you use the thickening shampoo. Then we have our secret sauce, argan oil. With that, we have what's called Miracle Blowout. The Sheen Spray is basically kind of a permutation of the argan oil. It just adds a finishing touch to the hair. And finally, the Dynamic Duo, Keratin Fibers. This makes your hair look thicker instantaneously. This doesn't come out in the wind, doesn't come out in the rain. We can guarantee this will help your hair and keep you from coming to see me about hair loss.
Zhivago timepieces are luxury watches for both women and men. Designs for women are inspired by classic femininity while maintaining their contemporary style. Designs for men blend classic elegance and sporty versatility. All timepieces remain true to the Zhivago lifestyle, including their glamorous presentation, which is a nod to the famous Parisian fragrance that started it all. Zhivago timepieces transcend the ages, recalling life's most treasured moments. Let Zhivago inspire you.
Visit www.zhivagowatches.com or shop Zhivago Watches on Amazon.
Where does your favorite restaurant get its bread? Do they make it themselves? If not, make sure your favorite restaurant uses Artisan Crust Bakery for all their baked goods. 100% natural, 100% fresh, 100% delicious.
Flowers are nature's expression of love and appreciation. There is no better way to show your love and appreciation than with these beautifully intricate arrangements by Designs by David. Designs by David will deliver beautiful arrangements to you for any occasion, in any city and state around. Appreciation should be expressed every day. Express it with Designs by David today. Mention Focus with Ron Frierson for a discount.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Before we went to break, we were talking about all the stuff that happened and with the new administration going over to their first overseas conference and meeting, visiting world leaders, and how I think he did a terrible job, in my opinion. I think even Fox News, who tries to do anything to make him look good, I think they even like, wow, what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. But, all that stuff is still just window dressing. I mean, one of the main reasons why he chose that as a place to go, most presidents in their first overseas trip, it's not this early in their administration. Their first trip to a different country is usually Canada and Mexico because they are our greatest allies because they're sitting right on our borders and they're integral to our ability to protect ourselves and the security of our nation and trading partners. So that's where they usually go. Trump wanted just to leave everything and go over there because this Russia thing has got him shook. Yeah. He's straight shook. And so because of this, he wants to just get out and maybe just get a reset so that he doesn't have to, get questions as much. It's crazy, but it keeps coming back on him.
He just wanted to spread the Trump love all over the world as quickly as possible. Yeah. Trump is out there negotiating for life after the office of the presidency of the United States of America. He and Jared Kushner and all of them.
What you think about Jared Kushner?
Will have international hotels. Yeah, well, they do now, but it's just going to increase tenfold. What do I think about Jared Kushner? I think he's a very sly, very smart, super intelligent guy. Yeah. He's probably the smartest guy in the cabinet and the whole team. Probably. And he's had apparently some negotiations or some dealings with the Russians, which is okay because he wasn't in office, but that might be the link that brings us all together, but they're not sure. So of course this is
I think that
something.
The FBI, they've made him a person of interest in regards to getting some information out of him, and I've always said that I'm not certain whether or not Trump whether people like are paying off Trump, and he's getting money from. I think it's more so that he may owe. And the way things work in Russia, I can't remember who. It's this Russian chess player, who's like a world champion in chess. They love chess over there, and he ended up defecting to the United States, and he's like a real enemy of Vladimir Putin. And he wrote a book about it, and then he's written some things about the whole way the structure is over there. On paper, Vladimir Putin has like a modest income. It's not like he's ultra rich on paper because of the way they have it built over there. So he looks like he's getting the salary.
Looks like a modest man.
Of the compensation of just a world leader, of somebody, or government official.
Yeah.
Okay. But I understand he could be like the richest man, one of the richest men in the world, underneath the table on low, because of the way he has it structured. Right. He has a structure where he has a lot of the oligarchs, the people, the small minority of people within his inner circle hold money for him for the most part. So he makes them very rich with different contracts and stuff. And if anyone got a line, he either kill him or he would have the government take over the business to incorporate the business, because you can do that. Government can seize business in Russia.
Right.
And so one of the ways that they influence other people in other countries and try to attract people as spies or work for them, they may, through some of these other intermediaries, go and influence someone else. So they may not actually be working with the government of Russia. They may be working with a business that has ties to Putin.
One degree of separation.
Yep, a degree of separation. And so they're playing the bank shot the entire time. So if he wants to get money from Putin, Putin says, okay, I'll give you money. I'll give you whatever, $1 billion. Okay. My boy's going to contact you because he's holding the wallet, and he has the $1 billion in his wallet. But guess who made his wallet? I made his wallet. But that's for us to know. And he does it that way. And so
I don't think that's, that in itself is not impeachable worthy.
What in itself? Because I was just saying how the structure could be.
I mean, if it gets closer to the circle, right? So if these contacts, first of all, Trump's tax returns is vital to this whole puzzle. We've got to know where his investments are. And you're right, he probably owes them money. I mean, he owed several banks in the United States money. As a matter of fact, he got bailed out because he had to file for bankruptcy. But he had so much property, it would have affected them all negatively. So they decided to reinvest in him. That's the reason why he's successful today. So why couldn't the same incident happen there as well? And so they got to check his tax returns to see what's going on.
So and also could it be this, because they're paying more attention to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
At this point.
And understand that Jared Kushner and Trump are like this. They're like salt and pepper. And so
I'm gonna be close to my daughter's husband too, so I keep an eye on him.
I'm sure you will be.
Yeah, we're gonna be real close.
Yeah, she won't like that either. Yeah. So with that, with Trump, we have a call coming through, Jar? Okay. Caller, can I have your name and the city you're calling in from, please?
My name is Lisa Reed, and I'm calling from Lansing, Michigan.
Hi, thank you for calling in from my home state of Michigan. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm great. Hey, so you do you have a question or something that we can address for you?
Well, I know that Ron Frierson, I grew up next door to him, and I
This is Lisa.
that he's saying.
This is Lisa.
Lisa
Moore. What's up, Lisa? How are you?
I'm telling you, I'm wonderful. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I just want the world to know, it's conspiracy, okay? And we as a country, we have too many diversities to try to eliminate anybody. And Donald Trump has done that. He has eliminated certain groups, certain societies, and if he owes money, he needs to pay it. Right. Okay? We need to know about your financials. Okay?
That's right.
And we need to check out the election. If the Russians tapped in on it, they hacked it overseas so they can hack it here. Okay? We are the country that leads the world. That's what I believe. Okay, in God we trust.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm so glad you called in. So
Thanks
good
for
to hear
calling,
from
Lisa.
you. All right, you take care.
Yeah,
Tell brother and everybody I said hi. And
I sure
and
will.
Celeste.
In God we trust. So we're gonna keep this. How can I say it? We're gonna keep this
Paper.
legit. Let's stop playing games.
I hear you. We with you. All
right.
right. Thank you for calling in,
Okay.
Lisa. You take care.
Take care now. Thank you.
Okay, you too, brother.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Hey, when I was growing up,
Uh-huh.
whoo, Lisa was the baddest thing on the block.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
She still is, though, right?
Man, I haven't seen her in years.
Just say yes, Ron. Say yes.
Yes, but I haven't seen her in years, but I'm sure she is. You can't fall off that. She was so high, you can't fall off from that. As high as she was, even if she fell off, she'd still be
Still
high.
fine. Huh?
She would still be fine, yeah. But she's much older than me.
Okay.
So, like, she was a teenager when I was young.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but let me get off that subject.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Unless
so
you want to do it.
But what I was saying is this before, and Lisa made a good point in regards. If there's anything that needs to come out about this, it's going to come out. You can't keep stuff like this secret for too long.
Well, listen. I hope they hurry up and get to it, though. I'm
But
tired.
you said I don't think he'll be impeached, though. Just you know why
It's
I don't
gonna
think he'll
take
be.
years for this process to come.
It's going to take. It may
at
take
least
years,
2
but the reason why I don't think he's going to be impeached, I will be surprised.
And then you need a lot.
Pleasantly surprised, but surprised if he got impeached just because we're so polarized.
Can you imagine the Republicans
Republicans
saying, "I told you so"? If in fact there's nothing there, I mean that's
no. But there's something there.
Well, but
impeachable. See, this is the deal. There's something there, but whether or not it's an impeachable offense would be something different. But I don't think they would impeach him because to be impeached, Bill Clinton was impeached. Okay?
Yeah.
You can be impeached, and then as a result of your impeachment, you can either be censured
right.
or you can be thrown out of office. Richard Nixon, after his impeachment, they had to vote for him to be thrown out of office, and you need like 2/3 majority vote in the House and 2/3 in the Senate. So
he resigns.
And the Republicans and Democrats don't get along at all. I doubt if you can get in a Republican-controlled Congress or even on a Republican-controlled Senate, I doubt if you can get enough votes to throw him out of office. You may get enough votes to impeach him, and then they'll censure him, which is basically they'll just tell him that he did bad stuff and kind of bring him before the well of the Senate and start talking about him and stuff like that. But he'll still stay in office. He'll be weakened, but he'll stay in office. This is what happened to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was impeached, which means they said then that means that he was found guilty of something that was impeachable. Now they have to see if it rises to the level to be removed from office. So they got him something that was impeachable. Did it rise to the level to be removed from office? In their opinion, no. So they voted for him to stay there.
Mm-hmm. That's when they found out about Monica Lewinsky.
Exactly. So I don't know if they would do that for
I'm not gonna go there,
Donald Trump. Oh, yeah, what you did last.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that for Donald Trump. I don't think that because Republicans, they like Crips and Bloods there now.
Yeah.
And they won't let their Republican president, even though he's a fool, he's our fool, and we know that if he's impeached and thrown out of office, the odds of us getting another Republican in the presidential chair is going to be gone for a long time because now we're going to be associated with him and the Republican Party will be disgraced.
Hey, if another Trump comes along, they'll probably vote for him too.
I hope not. I hope
that's how disgruntled they are. They just said, I'm voting for Trump.
But listen, we're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have Mr. Cyrus Harper with us. He's going to join the conversations and tell us about some of the great things he's doing around the country. All right, so let's take this commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yates. I'm a hair transplant surgeon. When people come to see me, they have a problem. They've lost a lot of hair and they want their hair back. We have our own line of hair products, and I think it's a real winner. The way we start is with Mega Biotin. Number 2, edge control. It prevents breakage and holds the edges down. Apple cider vinegar shampoo. It adds body, it adds shine, and it also reduces inflammation. Depending on if your hair is dry, you want to use hydrating. If your hair is thin, you use the thickening shampoo. Then we have our secret sauce, argan oil. With that, we have what's called Miracle Blowout. The Sheen Spray is basically kind of a presentation of the argan oil. It just adds a finishing touch to the hair. And finally, the Dynamic Duo, keratin fibers. This makes your hair look thicker instantaneously. This doesn't come out in the wind, doesn't come out in the rain. We can guarantee this will help your hair and keep you from coming to see me about hair loss.
Zhivago timepieces are luxury watches for both women and men. Designs for women are inspired by classic femininity while maintaining their contemporary style. Designs for men blend classic elegance and sporty versatility. All timepieces remain true to the Zhivago lifestyle, including their glamorous presentation, which is a nod to the famous Parisian fragrance that started it all. Zhivago timepieces transcend the ages, recalling life's most treasured moments. Let Zhivago inspire you.
Visit www.zhivagowatches.com or shop Zhivago watches on Amazon.
Flowers are nature's expression of love and appreciation. There is no better way to show your love and appreciation than with these beautifully intricate arrangements by Designs by David. Designs by David will deliver beautiful arrangements to you for any occasion, in any city and state around the world. Love and appreciation should be expressed every day. Express it with Designs by David today. Mention Focus with Ron Frierson for a discount.
I'm riding a bicycle from Los Angeles to Ohio. You heard it right, from Los Angeles to Ohio, because I've gotten a chance to speak at over 50 schools this school year. And I've heard stories like, what do I do if my father is beating my mother and we can't go to the police because they're gonna put us in foster care? Or being on a radio station with a woman telling a story about how her daughter committed suicide by being bullied in a private school. And we just recently seen an 8-year-old committed suicide from being bullied and the school system didn't alert the parents. So these issues is going on, so I wanna bring awareness to these issues. And then I'm gonna use the money, which I'm trying to raise $25,000, which is $10 per mile. I know we can do that. And I'm giving that money to the nonprofits that's helping the kids get through these issues.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. To my left, I have a great young man, Mr. Cyrus Harper, and you guys just welcome
to the studio, Cyrus.
Be here. I'm glad.
And you just saw a video promoting a great cause that he's championing by riding his bike from L.A.
Yes, sir.
to Ohio. Woo!
Oof, you must be in pretty good shape.
I've been working on it. I've been getting in the gym. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, so before we get deep into it, I want to read this short bio. Okay. So I'm going to read it. And I just learned to read, so bear with me. Okay. Okay. Born to a mother addicted to harsh and drug-dealing father, Cyrus Harper wasn't expected to do much with his life. He spent much of his childhood in Massillon inner city, and Massillon is in Ohio, not knowing from day to day what his home life would be. His brothers were in and out of prison. He learned at all too early an age that he could not depend on others, so he turned his attention inward and discovered himself. The journey that led him to a better life since helped hundreds of, I'm going to help you with your commas and stuff. The journey that led him to a better life was helped hundreds of at-risk children find their own path to personal greatness through self-knowledge. His dedication to inspiring others started inadvertently at the age of 13 when he wrote his first program for the local Boys and Girls Club, like that. He taught himself how to self-love and made the necessary lifestyle changes to prosper from his negative environment. This is what created you, this environment, molded you and shaped you into who you are, started you on this evolution. And I think all of us here are in some sort of evolution. This is a constant thing in life.
Right.
It's the constant growth.
Constant growth. So
for some of us.
So tell me something, Cyrus. Tell me something new. Why are you doing this bike ride? Expound on it, please.
Well, the reason why I'm doing the bike ride is I wanted to bring more awareness to what's happening to the children in these schools. I spoke at 50-something schools from September to now. And I've gotten stories, as I said in the video, what do I do if my father is beating my mother and we can't go to the police because they're going to put us in foster care, or kids talking about, or young women talking about they feel validated by their looks and then seeking that approval from older adults. I mean, it's just so many different issues that's happening that's being swept up under the rug. And then on top of that, there's programs that can assist kids to have a better life or help them with their issues,
Mm-hmm.
but then that particular program isn't allowed to promote within the school. It got certain parameters around it to stop them to be able to get out the word. So it's like you have to go through a counselor. And if the counselor don't tell the kid, then they won't get put in there. So oftentimes the programs are promoted by the kids that's actually in the program. So I see all these different issues, and I want to bring bring this to the forefront.
Okay. So you got sponsorship. I mean, what sort of notoriety, what sort of media and publicity? I mean, are you stopping at different spots along the path, or how are you getting the word out there just through simply jumping on a bike? And
Well, yes, sir. It's a combination of both. When I told some organizations that I was going to do it,
yeah,
like the Boys and Girls Club of America, Norris Cole Foundation, a lot of different foundations, I think oftentimes they blindly commit, not believing that you're going to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Because right now the Boys and Girls Club, they will be providing an RV. At least they said they would be providing an RV. When I spoke to Norris Cole, if possible, because he's in the NBA, he's a point guard for Oklahoma City Thunder. He said that if he's not in NBA workouts, then he'll be riding with me during Dayton. So we do get these people that get involved, but people are not as involved as they claim they would be before they knew I was actually getting on the bike.
So now, since you're going to follow through, now you get more people say, okay, he's serious about it, so I need to put up.
You get a mixture. I've getting some people backpedaling and some people really stepping up. But what's funny is you get closet supporters. Like I get a lot of emails from people saying, I can't believe that you're doing this. You really inspiring me to do things. Now I know I can lose the weight that I wanted to lose. I mean, just inspiration and so many different things. But on the same note, they won't donate to the cause.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't understand it.
And tell them again what the cause is.
The cause, youth suffering.
Okay.
The things that's going on with the youth. And my community and the people in Massillon know that I've been doing this since I was 13.
So what's your foundation's name?
A Wise Way is what I'm writing it for.
A Wise Way?
A Wise Way.
Okay.
But since 13, I'm the youngest recipient of the Humanitarian Award for the state of Ohio.
That's fantastic.
So I've been doing this for so long.
Right.
I think I've donated over $250,000 before I was 24, 25.
Wow.
So I almost got frustrated, to say the least, because I'm like, I have since 13. I wrote programs. I had backpack giveaways. I had turkey drives. I had Christmas things, coat drive. I mean, everything for this long before I was even 24. Now I'm 30, and the time that I'm trying to give back more to help these kids at an older age, I can say, some of the parents that I gave the turkeys to are not even willing to help the $10. I mean, it's just kind of. It's kind of interesting.
Tell me, why do you think that is? Because, I wonder about that in our society. On one hand, we can be some of the most generous people on the planet. And then on the other hand, I think a lot of it has to do with some sort of anxiety and wondering if I have enough for myself. Why would I'm not certain why people are so unwilling in some cases to give in that regard.
I think people are willing to give to a cause that they understand and believe in, and it might be a situation where maybe the information, they're not really clear on it. Maybe you just have to, like the listeners tonight, just tell them, everything we need to know about how to donate money. Go online, what the website is, how we make a contribution for your cause, because it's a very worthy cause.
It really
so
is.
I think maybe some people might be lost in that shuffle, but Ron, I don't know why people hold on to dollars and cents so tightly.
And I understand that. I understand that people have their own anxieties, especially if they are wondering what's happening from paycheck to paycheck with themselves. So I get that. But I mean those that have the wherewithal to give. It's almost like it's a hoarding mentality, so to speak. But with you, what are some of the end results? What are some of the deliverables that someone can point to and say this is a result of me supporting this effort?
What do you mean,
what can you point to as a success? This because of this charity, this foundation, we were able to do blank.
Yeah, the results of this, accomplishing this is going to achieve what?
I mean, working with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
It's been the history of my life has been the results. Not only all the people that I've helped get to college, but all the families.
So that would be it. So you were helped through someone giving to your foundation and helping to sponsor you for this bike trip, they can turn back and say,
I get what you're asking now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the money raised from this is going to other nonprofits.
Okay.
It's not my particular. It's going to be the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Gotcha.
Okay, got it.
It's going to be Pops the Club. Pops is Pain of the Prison System. They help young kids that have incarcerated family members.
There we go.
Another one is Save America's Children, which is helping bullying.
Right. Okay.
So it's not me directly. I don't have
Right.
my non.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
not going
that's
in
good.
my pocket. It's going
to
in
show
other
them. So,
nonprofits.
Okay, so you're like you're a conduit. You're a liaison between other nonprofits. You're like a clearinghouse.
Yes, because I noticed oftentimes us as young males, I look at a nonprofit or young people. We look at nonprofits and see how we can reinvent the wheel. Like, let me just create my own nonprofit. And then you start off, you don't know how to hire the right people. You don't even know how to apply for grants. You don't know any of these different types of things.
Yeah.
So I'd rather get involved with an already moving nonprofit that's helping a lot of kids and just play a part.
Makes a lot of sense. Yep.
That does make a lot of sense. With that being said, I mean, so you said Boys and Girls Club of America. Are there any other foundations or charities that you become involved with?
Yeah, Pops the Club. That's the Pain of the Prison System. As I said, they help kids that have incarcerated
What's
family
the name
members.
of it again?
Pops the Club.
Pops the Club. Okay.
Pain of the Prison System. They help kids that have incarcerated family members. And I could relate to it because my brother did 13 years and my mother was locked up. And I mean, just so many family members locked up. So when I first heard about it, I got involved immediately.
And how many miles is it, your trip? And how long is it going to take you?
Roughly 2,300 something miles.
Okay.
So we say 2,500 miles. And 40 days is what it's projected to take.
40 days and 40 nights?
Yeah. The irony behind that is going to take 40 days.
You know, it's you're from a Rust Belt state, same as me.
Yes, sir.
And it's something how we were somewhat devastated economically through the decimation of the manufacturing sector. You know, everyone used to work in the automotive industry or something, laid off. If you worked in steel mills or something, you're laid off. And then you're younger than I am because you're 30. I remember in the 80s when crack first came through. And how, you know, from one end, like my friend Lisa that just called in, she was my next door neighbor growing up. I hadn't heard her voice in years, so I didn't know who she was. But I remember one summer, you know, we had a rough neighborhood, but it wasn't like downtrodden because people had jobs. They worked for GM, you know, worked for the steering gear or something. And then, like, it seems like within 2 summers, you can just see the whole complexion of the neighborhood change. It was a time where everyone would be out there on Saturday mornings cutting their grass and washing their car in the driveway or something like that.
They couldn't crack.
You know what's interesting about what you mentioned about the crack era?
Yeah.
Is I'm the result of it. Our generation is the first generation behind the crack era. So what you see of us is the results of what went on during your time. And oftentimes people don't think about that. You complain about the last generation, not realizing how you influenced us.
So you used a crack baby?
I wasn't a crack baby,
Okay,
but I have brothers that was.
I'm playing with
no,
you.
seriously.
Yeah.
Brothers that was.
Wow.
Actually, I just found my brothers I've been looking for like 20 years.
Really?
Damn.
I found them when I went home a month and a half ago. At
Now
Foot Locker.
you gotta tell me about
Foot
this.
Locker.
How did this
Go ahead,
happen?
keep going.
Listen, I went into Foot Locker when I was home. I went home to give a speech. Actually, my first sold out speech at home.
Wow.
But I went home to give a speech, and I was riding to go to my sister's house, and she wasn't there, so I was just trying to kill some time.
Yeah.
So I went to the mall, and I was walking around, and I ended up going into Foot Locker, and I ended up seeing this guy, and I'm like, you look familiar. You know what I'm saying? It's in my head, and I'm like, so what's your name? He like, Colin. I'm like, you know, Colin what? He's like, Thomas. I'm like, I don't know any Thomases.
Yeah.
Like, well, where you from? He like, you know, Minerva or Malvern. I'm like, I really don't know anybody from Malvern. Like, that was one of them teams that we used to, you know, scrimmage at the beginning. Exactly. So we beat them by 80. But I'm like, I really don't know anybody from Malvern. No. And I was like, is that where your parents is from? He was like, well, I don't know my real parents. I said, do you know what your name was before adoption? He was like, yeah, Melchizedek Harper. I'm like, I'm Cyrus Harper. I've been looking for you my whole life. It was my
crazy.
brother at Foot Locker. And I knew it was some type of chemistry because who's going to sit there and answer a lot of questions from a stranger?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at his body type and whatnot, and he looks exactly like, there go the picture right there. But
Wow.
it just quick. But because he looks just like my brother on the edge. The one in the middle is who we found. The one on the edge, is my younger brother Kadesh.
Yeah.
So you see how similar they look. That's the reason why I was just like,
so he was at work.
Yeah, and just sitting there talking to him, I noticed even more similarities. Like his number was 30 in basketball. My dad's number was 30. My brother, I was 30. Kadesh was 30. He was 30. It just so many things came together.
That's amazing.
That and going home and speaking, it brought a lot of things together that I've been searching for my whole life.
Is he gonna ride with you, your brother?
No, they will not be riding with me.
Forget that.
They might ride with me at points,
right,
but nobody really want to take that full journey.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to learn so much, even going home, about my family and those things I can even help the kids more.
You guys
with.
stay in touch now, I'm sure.
Yeah, because he ended up helping me find my other brother, because they was adopted together.
Okay.
Wow.
So I didn't see both of them for 20 plus.
Now, how is your trip going to be documented? Is you're going to have
videographer?
Yeah.
And we have a videographer. We're going to have a daily blog.
Okay.
The website right now for donation is Ride with Cy. That's RIDEWITHCY.com.
Okay.
Everyone should go and check out that website and support this brother and what he's doing. Because this is something huge. That story about you finding your brother,
ain't crazy.
That's God. I mean, for you to, after all these years, just happen to be in a Foot Locker, and you decide this young man, there's something about him that you just wanted to start asking some questions.
You would know. Like, if you seen a woman that looked just like your mother, you can be like,
wow.
So
that's deep.
But not only that, I mean, I had the speaking event. He came to it, and he got it. It was like a family reunion because I had the event, and I met him a few days beforehand. So I had all the family coming in from far away, and then they got a chance to meet him. And I mean, he jumped in like he knew us the whole time. He up there selling T-shirts and everything.
And what about the other brother that he linked you up with? Did you get a chance to see
I
him
had to
as well?
drive, and he was in Zanesville. I drove about maybe 2 hours out, and I met with him, talked to him for about an hour or so.
Wow.
And we stay in touch.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
That's great, man. But I'm wishing you all the best.
Yeah,
and,
all the
really
best.
appreciate it.
I really support you in this effort, and I'll log on and drop some change on you.
Whatever is a blessing.
Yeah. Let's Jarvis, be sure to put that website on the screen so everyone that's looking at the program can look at it and take a screenshot of their watching on their computer or on their phone. And let's just do that and
ridewithcy.com.
Ridewithcy.com. So everyone listening, ridewithcy.com, and that's CY. Ridewithcy, all one word.com, and contribute and help support this brother and the great work that he's doing.
It's a good cause.
You don't get that many people like Cy, people like my friend AJ Reeland. These are young men that are doing something positive in the community. We hear about everyone that's doing, not doing nothing, and everybody's sitting around taking selfies all day.
On that boot time.
But we need to really put more of a spotlight on young brothers like this that are trying to do something positive for the community at large. Okay?
Yeah, I literally went homeless for it. I gave up everything that I had to move out here and lived out my car in order to change my life for the better.
Wow.
Because I realized that I was building my community and destroying it at the same time.
Mm.
Like, I got my degree in marketing from Cleveland State, but I was giving my school checks to my dad. And I knew he sold cocaine, but I gave it to him anyways, while at the same time I'm giving turkeys out.
Wow.
So I was being hypocritical,
Yeah.
rebuilding the community. But I want to touch on a point that you said earlier about why don't people give? Because oftentimes they don't feel like it personally affects them. When it hits you or hits your backyard, that's the only time that people care.
Wow.
That's right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, thank you again.
True.
Well, listen, guys, I think we may be out of time, and as always, we appreciate all of our viewers and listeners. And guys, if you guys have any questions for me or any ideas for the show, feel free to give me a ring. Not a ring. Please don't give me a ring. Email me at ronnie.frierson@gmail.com. Again, that's ronnie.frierson@gmail.com. Or if you're considering advertising on the show, shoot me off an email, and in the subject line, put in focus so I know what you're hitting me up about. And thank you again. I also wanted to just shout out to Randy back in Saginaw, Michigan. I promised him that I would take a special note to thank all of our service members for the work they've done in keeping our country safe and during this Memorial Day weekend. And Memorial Day weekend, I also want to give a shout out to all the people in my family and the loved ones of all of us who have gone on to that next plane of existence and passed away. That includes my grandfather, Harry. That includes my friend, Adam Creef. And so all the best. You guys want to give any shout outs or any parting words before we leave for this Memorial Day weekend?
Definitely. I want to shout out my brothers, because my brother was in the Army for 8 years. My other brother did 12 years in there. My aunts. So all their service and all the work that they did to ensure our safety here, I'm appreciative of. And I'm just thankful to be able to be on this platform that you're providing to people, because oftentimes you won't know, you won't ever get your, I say, appreciation fully. People will sit back and appreciate what you're doing, and you may be helping somebody get better viewpoints on governments and things like that. So I'm appreciative of y'all's platform and what y'all doing to help people, because you're not going to get those, thank yous. So I'm giving it for everybody.
And
thank you, Baron. Thank you, Cy, and thank you for those kind words too. What about you, Woody?
I just want to memorialize my dad's passing 2 years ago, 2014, May 6th, and just spread the love to my family as much as I can through conversations, phone call, hugs, and all that type of stuff. So
there you go.
It's
all love. Three brothers, all love.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Peace.